first thing that comes to mind when you're talking about that, because as you do grow, more opportunities come your way. And I often talk about this thing, shiny object syndrome. And like as entrepreneurs, it's like, wow, that's a great idea. Let's go with it. But like sometimes we need to say no so we can focus on our God-given calling. And so I'd love to hear, Julie, how you go about like deciding and almost discerning which opportunities are worth your time and your investment and going full in. Because if you're not full in, like it can be a challenge and you won't pursue the excellence that we're asked to pursue.
Yeah, and you're right. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, though. I mean, I've never had shiny objects.
No, okay.
Come on. Oh man. I mean, no. That's something that I actually have to keep in check on a very regular basis. And I think the last 2 years, I've become more skilled at it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that means I have failed and I have learned from those errors, and it's given me insight into who I am. And so like understanding like, what is it about me that is drawn towards these things? And usually it comes down to an area of our character that needs to be refined further. And for a lot of us, I'm just going to throw us under the bus. Those of us with shiny object syndrome, it really goes to say, hey, I'm a great starter. I really like ideas. I'm a big thinker. I need to grow in my self-discipline further. And so we can look at the character elements that have to be cultivated further. And then in order to stay the track, it's no different than any relationship, right? So being aligned spiritually and understanding like, what is the path and the purpose that God has laid out for me first and foremost, and am I staying on that? So if you don't mind, I'm like, seriously, if we go into Israelites when they were making their exodus, like they had to stay their course, and when they got distracted, next thing you know, they're worshiping snakes and doing weird things, like, and so we can be easily misguided. And so if we can remember where is our destination, where are we headed, why are we headed there? And so for me, that is having my goals. And honestly, this isn't coming from any high position at all. This is something where I realized that recently, as in like within the last 48 hours, I really need to pull out my goals and just sit down for a solid 2 hours and review my goals that I set and my intentions, and make sure that how I'm entrusting my time is aligning with those. Because when we sit down to sit down and cultivate those goals, the immediate, the 1 year, 3, 5, 10, when we're looking at those type of goals, we have clarity because we're like putting intention behind it. But a lot of times I struggle to always consistently go back and review